Coppell, Texas is a city that we're featuring today. We're talking affordability, we're talking lifestyle, we're talking real estate, we're talking about it all. We're covering everything that you absolutely need to know about Coppell. So first, let's begin by identifying where in the heck Coppell, Texas even is. Coppell is located in the heart of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It doesn't get any more central than this. Coppell is surrounded by Flower Mound, Louisville, Carrollton, Irving, Grapevine, and neighbors the airport. And when it comes to accessibility, you truly can't beat Coppell, given that it borders Interstate 635 and Interstate East 35. Now, you also have access to Texas Highway 121, which converts into Sam Rayburn Tollway from Coppell. And you also have access to the George Bush Turnpike. So getting around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex truly isn't going to be an issue if you live in Coppell. Now, if you're trying to get to bigger cities like Fort Worth, it's going to take you about 30 minutes to get to downtown Fort Worth if you're coming from Coppell. Now, if you're trying to get to downtown Dallas, that's going to take you about 25 minutes. And given that Coppell borders the DFW International Airport, it's not going to take you long to get to your terminal. It's going to take you about 10 minutes. Now, those are travel times that help you identify proximity to those heavily frequented locations that you're going to find yourself going to from time to time. However, to truly share what commute looks like from Coppell, let's apply our how far can I go in 30-minute test, which this test serves as a visual representation of how far you can travel away from Coppell if you had 30 minutes. So again, as you can see, you can get to just about anywhere in the DFW area if you're traveling from Coppell. Within those 30 minutes, you can get to Denton, you can get to Little Elm, you can get past Frisco into Prosper, get into McKinney, get into Allen, Plano, Richardson, Garland, a good portion of Dallas, almost touching Mesquite over here, Duncanville, a good portion, actually all of Grand Prairie, Arlington, and almost getting down to Mansfield, Forest Hill, and cover over 50% of Fort Worth. So now that you know where in the world Coppell, Texas is, I want to welcome you to the DFW Homeowner YouTube channel, the go-to real estate channel for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Hey, my name is Jaime Resendez, your local realtor and team leader, able to help you make money in real estate, whether you're buying or selling in the DFW Metroplex. So don't forget to hit that like button because that really helps out the channel. All right, now back to Coppell, Texas, because this is what you came for. Coppell is a city in Dallas County, settled in the 1840s and incorporated in 1955. Coppell has been growing steadily in recent years to the point where the population is now over 41,000. The city is known for its thriving economy, excellent real estate, and strong sense of community. In recent years, Coppell has consistently been rated as one of the best places to live in the United States. According to most recent city data, 71.9% of households in Coppell are owner-occupied, which means that the actual owners of the home actually live in them and are not renting those properties out. And for context, the state of Texas averages 62.3%. So in Coppell, you find a lot more homeowners than renters, which if you're curious on how many households actually exist in Coppell, the answer is over 12,000. And the average number of persons per household is 2.72. And as far as education goes, 97.6% of Coppell's residents have a high school diploma, and about 69.5% of the residents have at least a bachelor's degree. Now we know that household income varies widely, but the median income in Coppell is just over $128,000 per year, which is more than twice the amount than the Texas median income of $63,000. And right now, there's probably several of you thinking, what about the weather? Well, as far as the weather is concerned, the two hottest months are July and August, with an average high temperature of 96 degrees and an average low temperature of 73. And if the cold temperatures are more of your style, the two coldest months are in December and January, with an average high of 55 degrees and an average low of 32 degrees in those two coldest months. All right, so let's talk about jobs for a quick second, because many of you enjoy living, playing, and working in the same city. So let's see what the employer situation is like in Coppell. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is a good amount of companies that are actively hiring in Coppell right now. So this gives you a great sense of the variety of industries industries represented in Coppell. Now, I'll admit that I just threw a lot of data at you that without context isn't going to be that meaningful to you. So to add some of that context, I want to introduce to you an external resource in niche.com, which is going to help us analyze all this information and compare it to other cities. So we're going to focus on Coppell's report based off of the grades that Niche gave it in 12 meaningful categories. Now, I'm not trying to spoil this for you, but Coppell was actually the #1 best suburb to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area according to Niche, which makes sense given that of the 12 categories that were ranked, Coppell scored at least an A in 7 of them. And those A's came in the form of public schools, housing, good for families, jobs, nightlife, diversity, and health and fitness. And the rest of the grades were B's in the form of cost of living, outdoor activities, crime and safety, weather, and commute. Now, this is a part of the video where I have to explain the C grades in each city, but with Coppell, there weren't any. So now that we know a bit more about Coppell, let's check out what the local residents have to say. Coppell is a quiet, family-oriented town. It's fairly safe, but no town is without crime. It has several nice parks, but as far as nightlife goes, you won't really find it here. There are only a few bar/grill type places around, and they don't stay open late. And there isn't even a movie theater. And another resident says, growing up in Coppell has allowed me a mix of city and rural. Coppell is in Dallas County, however, it is not in the center of it all. Coppell is northwest of the central part of Dallas, giving it a more rural aspect. However, this balance, I think, makes Coppell very unique in its opportunities. For example, many people who live in Coppell work downtown or uptown Dallas. They commute about 30 minutes but get to work in the heart of the city. With Coppell being a suburb of Dallas, it is safer. Now, Coppell has its own police department that provides top-notch safety for our city. With that said, Coppell has become a very family-oriented city, but in turn, this has driven up the real estate prices of Coppell. Overall, Coppell has become a wonderful place for me and my siblings to grow up on, and I would recommend the city to anyone wanting to start a family. Another current resident says, Coppell is honestly a great town to live in if you ask me, especially for those with the family. It is the safest town compared to other ones nearby. All the schools offer great education and are rated amongst the top of the state of Texas, and as someone who attended school in this town, it certainly makes living in Coppell worth it. Highly recommend. Another resident says, I just moved to Coppell around a year ago and love it. I'm married and I have 3 kids that love their new schools. Everything is so modern but traditional and very, very nice, close community. The only small little problem, if I had to be very picky, is that some of the neighborhoods need a bit of reconstruction in the back alleys, but that's about it. Another resident says, I've lived in North Texas for almost 2 decades and 5 of those years have been in Coppell. Coppell is very diverse, forward-thinking, safe, and comfortable town in the middle of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Because of its location, we are close to major airports, sporting events, concerts, lakes, and fantastic cultural venues and events. Our parks in Coppell are very well maintained with several miles of great walking and biking paths. The city of Coppell does a fantastic job of providing excellent customer service, hospitality, and amenities to the citizens. I echo many of the comments here about the school district. It is excellent. If you're looking for a place to call home with an engaging community that is ideal for raising a family, look no further. Coppell, Texas is the right place. Coppell is a stereotypical suburb with coffee shops at every corner. One can spot people jogging at every hour and high taxes being paid every month. It consists of a very diverse and respectful community. The public schools are what draw people to move into the town, and the high quality of life is what makes them stay. Alright, so let's talk about these reviews for a quick second. With the reviews, the way that we handle them in this channel is we avoid the extremes. We avoid the extreme negative reviews, and we also avoid the extreme positive reviews. We don't go to the outliers because they really don't add too much to the conversation. Because from the extreme negative side, you're going to generally find somebody with an axe to grind, and there's just no winning there. Now, from the extreme positive side, you're going to have that diehard that's not going to take any criticism well. So we hover towards the middle with our reviews and really try to bring up reviews that are actually productive. But with that being said, I'm interested in what you have to say. Let us know in the comments comment section down below. Do you live in Coppell? Have you ever lived in Coppell? What's been your experience? And if you've made it to this part of the video, I want to sincerely thank you, and I want to ask you to consider subscribing to see more content like this. All right, so here's where we really start having fun. Let's start talking about the park situation, because you might be one of those individuals that like going to parks, or you might like taking your kids to the park, or you might like hanging out in the park with your pets. So as you can see, there are plenty of parks to choose from. Now, one quick note, the smaller parks will not be shown here, so you're going to need to scroll down just a little bit more in order to see those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to feature one of the most popular parks in Coppell in Andy Brown Park. All right, so that was Andy Brown Park. Just know that there's actually two. There's the east and there's also the west. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go a little bit further south and check out the nature park. All right, so now that we know what the park situation is like in Coppell, let's talk about something super important, something that every single homeowner needs to pay attention to, which is the schools. Because regardless if you have schools or not, the school system affects you. It affects you from a property tax perspective, and it also affects you from a resale perspective. So the way that we feature schools on this channel is by providing a breakdown in the description that you can check out when it comes to the schools. Now, I linked that resource below because as a real estate agent, there's some things that I cannot cover when it comes to the school system. But what I can share with you is where all of the Coppell schools are on the map. So let's start off with Coppell High School, Pinkerton Elementary School, Mockingbird Elementary School, Lakeside Elementary School, Coppell Middle School, Town Center Elementary School, Denton Creek Elementary School, Coppell Middle School North, Victory Place, Cottonwood Creek Elementary School, W.H. Wilson Elementary School, Austin Elementary School, Coppell Classical Academy, River Chase Elementary School, Universal Academy, New Tech High at Coppell, and Coppell Montessori Academy. All right, so now that we've learned more about Coppell, you're starting to get a sense if Coppell is your type of city. But here's where the ultimate test comes in. This is going to determine so much about your opinion of Coppell, given that this dictates so much about where you live, where you work, and ultimately where you spend the last several hours of your Saturday, because you know that once Sunday hits, it's too late. And that, of course, can only mean one thing. Does Coppell have a Chick-fil-A? And I know I'm going to break a lot of hearts right now. No, there is no Chick-fil-A in Coppell. So you're going to have to go over to Grapevine, or go over to Irving, or head over to Louisville, or head into Carrollton to get your fix. All right, so I'm only half joking when it comes to that Chick-fil-A test. But what I'm 100% serious on is real estate. And regardless if you're a homeowner or a renter, you need to understand the real estate market as well, because real estate impacts so much of your life over time. I'm talking wealth creation, cost of living expenses, employment, and so much more. So let's start macro and understand Coppell home values according to Zillow. The typical home value of homes in Coppell is $589,535. This value is seasonally adjusted and only includes the middle price tier of homes. Coppell home values have gone up 26.3% over the past year. And no, the year-over-year change in value is not a typo. In fact, homes have actually accelerated in home value appreciation by more. And to better illustrate that point, see what happened in the last 10 years when it came to home value in Coppell. It's been rising steadily up until you get to the point of 2021, and it absolutely skyrocketed. Now again, I really want you to lean in on this part of the conversation. Not because you're looking to buy or you're looking to sell today, 10 years, 20 years from now, it doesn't matter. This is important because we're talking property taxes now. Property taxes will always impact you regardless if you're a homeowner or if you're a renter. If you're a homeowner, well, you have to pay those property taxes every single year. If you're a renter, those property taxes eventually mean that you're going to start paying more in rent. So when it comes to property taxes in Coppell, you're looking at roughly 2.488% in property taxes every single year, which means the owner of the property has to multiply the assessed value of their home by the property tax rate and come up with the property taxes owed for the year. So for the sake of this example, if your home is valued at $100,000, then you're paying just shy of $2,500 every single year in property taxes. Now, once again, numbers, stats, and figures without context, or in this case, visuals, isn't much helpful to you when it comes to real estate. The best way that I can help you is by visually showing you the homes that you can purchase with these median home prices. So let's head into the MLS and search for properties for sale in Coppell. Now there's 92 properties averaging $682,000 for sale in Coppell right now. Now you're going to notice two things. Well, number one, that this is substantially higher than the median home value that Zillow gave us. So that report came out a couple of months ago. So that's one thing. Home prices have increased since then. But also in this search, this does include commercial property. So that skews things up higher. But what we're going to do now is we are going to, we already had it. So we're going to leave it at single family, and the maximum we are going to put $650,000. So we're not going to go to the full average that we saw there. We're going to put the maximum price of a Coppell home of $650,000. So that search gave us 19 homes for sale under $650,000 in Coppell. So let's check out a few of these homes. This one being offered at $580,000. Up on the northwest side, we have $520,000, $550,000, $449,000, $560,000, $360,000, $379,000, $530,000, $365,000, $495,000, $650,000, $625,000, so $625,000, and we're gonna zoom in just a little bit, so $550,000, $569,000, $645,000, and zoom in one final time, $489,000 and $624,000. We're gonna zoom out for a quick second, and we're gonna look at some properties around here. So we're gonna click on this one at $530,000, 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,343 square feet, and located on 0.242 acres. Now that home is being offered at $530,000. It's 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,343 square feet, and located on 0.242 acres. Now if we go south of Sandy Lake and check out this pretty awesome community. So this is actually one of my favorite communities around. So we're gonna check this out. Let's go to this one. Yeah, $625,000, 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,415 square feet, located on 0.223 acres. Now again, that home's being offered at $625,000. It's 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,415 square feet, and located on 0.223 acres. So if we head west, let's check out some of these properties over here. That one's 520, this one's 550. So we're gonna check this one out. 3 beds, 2 baths, 2,268 square feet, located on 0.228 acres. Alright, so that home's being offered at $550,000. It's 3 beds, 2 baths, 2,268 square feet, located on 0.228 acres. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go a little bit beyond the median. So this is gonna mean less competition for you, but this is also gonna mean a larger budget. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna convert this 650 into our floor, and we're gonna raise that up by $200,000. So you see the type of home that you can purchase in this price range. So this gives us 13 results that are available for sale right now. So we're going to start the other way this time. We're going to start over here. This one's being off. Well, this one we already saw. It's 650. That one's 799. So 799,000, 720,000, 780,000, 750,000, 795,000, 780,000. Zoom in over here. So these are in Old Town Coppell. That one is 850,000. So these are more of your kind of townhome style. 685,000. We'll zoom back out and cover these real quick. 779,000, and this one 825,000. So let's zoom back out and check out, I think it was this one. Let's check out this property being offered at 750,000, 4 beds, 3 baths, 3,334 square feet, 0.225 acres. That home's being offered at $750,000. It's 4 beds, 3 baths, 3,334 square feet, and located on 0.225 acres. Let's go down here south of Bethel, fantastic area, and check out this style of property, which is considerably different than what you saw all around. So what we're gonna do is check this one out. 685,000, 3 beds, 3.5 baths, 2,520 square feet, 0.074 acres. Now that home is being offered at $685,000, 3 beds, 3.5 baths, 2,520 square feet, located on 0.074 acres. Now, one quick note, by the time you're watching this video, chances are the homes that you just saw are no longer up for sale. For the most current list of homes available for sale in Coppell, go down to the description to check it out. So now that we've matched the type of home to a realistic sales price, let's see what a monthly payment looks like. All right, so let's use this mortgage calculator from bankrate.com. If you have a preferred mortgage calculator, go ahead and use whatever you feel more comfortable with. What we're going to do here is we are going to build out a monthly payment that makes sense. So since we are in Coppell, we know that we can purchase a home of our choosing, most likely for around $650,000. It could be more, it could be less. We just saw a few homes that are actually more and less than this, so this is highly probable. And for our down payment, we're going to put 20% down to avoid PMI. So PMI means private mortgage insurance. When you purchase a property, you do not have to put 20% down, but by you putting 20% down, you're avoiding some additional fees and additional interest in the form of PMI. You can purchase a property for 10% down, 5% down, including 3% down on a conventional if you have the credit and all that fun stuff. But for our purposes today, we're going to put 20% down so we don't have to calculate the PMI down here. All right, so we're going to put a 30-year loan on that, and a realistic interest rate today is 5.4. By the time you're watching this video, it could be up or it could be down. Here's why we're building this out together so you know how to calculate this. We're not gonna worry about the zip code, but because for our purposes, this calculator is not gonna move. We're also not gonna worry about the credit score because we're already assuming that we're gonna get this interest rate. Now, in the real world, credit score will impact the interest rate that you get, but this particular example, we're gonna go ahead and assume that we can get that interest rate. All right, now when it comes to property taxes, this is where we come full circle. We talked a lot about property taxes earlier in the video, and this is why I wanted to prepare you for this moment because this matters. So if you purchase a property at $650,000, that is the market value of that property. That is what you paid for it. That is what the market purchased it for. So that's what you purchased it for. And if you get taxed on that entire amount, then what you would be paying in taxes, as I take out the calculator, let's say it's $650,000 and I multiply that by 0.02448, I believe was what the interest rate, 2.448%. That means that you're paying almost $16,000 in taxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide that number by 12. And that lets me know that in taxes alone, I'm paying $1,326 in property taxes. Now, here's where we have to pause for a quick second. I'm sorry to get so molecular, but this is important. So we're going to go this together. The property taxes. We made the calculation based off of the market value or the retail value, whatever you want to call it. This is what you were willing to pay for the property. In most cases, not all, but in most cases, the assessed value that the county has given it, meaning how the county sees the property, what the value, how the county sees the property's value, the assessed value is going to be less than what the property sold for. So on a property like this, chances are the assessed value is $450,000. Yeah, that's realistic. $450,000, $550,000, $600,000. This doesn't mean that the property is worth that, clearly, because you saw the home prices out there, but this means that the county has assessed the value of, let's call it $550,000 to the property that you just purchased. So that means that you're going to be paying taxes not on the market value, not what you paid for it, but the price, the assessed value that the county has given it. So in this case, if the assessed value is $550,000, well, yeah, you didn't pay that price because you paid the market price, but the county is seeing this particular property as a $550,000 times the property tax rate of 2.448%. Your property taxes are going to be less. I know I just said a lot of words, but just hang in there with me. So basically what I'm saying is that your property tax bill is most likely going to be less than this because of that simple fact that most properties that are out there, you're going to be paying taxes on a lower amount based off of the assessed value. And the second thing, the second reason I believe, or an assumption that I would make here, is that you're going to be paying less in property taxes because you're going to apply what's called a homestead exemption, which allows you to benefit from some liability components, but more importantly here is reducing your property taxes. Now, I have other videos in this channel that explain all of that. So I know I just spent 5 minutes just breaking down property taxes, but as you can see, I'm a little bit more passionate in property taxes because this is what really brings up on people. Your interest most likely is going to be fixed. So the reason that you're getting new mortgage payments every single year is not because of the interest rate or the principal or the interest, is because of the property taxes. So that's why it's important. And when it comes to homeowners insurance, I'm just going to put $300. It could be more, it could be less. There's just so many different variables here. This has to do with the age of the home. This has to do with the roof status. This has to do if this has a pool or not. This has to do with you as well, if you've ever submitted any claims in the past. So there's a lot of variables that go into homeowners insurance and calculating that accurately. But for our purposes today, something realistic is $300. And when it comes to PMI, we're not going to worry about that because we put at least 20% down. And HOA, we're just going to put $100 here in HOA fees, because depending on the area of town that you purchase, there may be an HOA. So if you're looking to purchase a property for $650,000, a realistic monthly payment looks like this. $4,649. All right, so what'd you think? Was the mortgage payment more or was it less than what you thought? Let us know in the comment section down below. All right, so now that we've addressed the real estate part, let's kick things up a notch. So let's talk about the cost of living as a whole, given that the housing is just a fraction of it. It's just a part of the entire equation. Now, when it comes to cost of living, we're going to compare Coppell to the national average. And what you're going to find is that the Texas comparison is there as well. So the appropriate way to read this is that if the number on the Coppell column is higher than the USA column, that means that it's more expensive. So overall, Coppell is 26% more expensive than the national average. And if we break things down by category and head over to the grocery section, we see that Coppell on average is 4.7% more expensive than the national average. And when it comes to healthcare, it's actually less expensive in Coppell by 6%. Now, truly what's skewing this number higher is the housing category. You see that it's 76% more expensive to live in Coppell than the national average. And as far as the median home cost, this too is a bit outdated. As you saw, the average prices of homes available for sale right now are actually higher than this. And when we get to the cost of utilities, it's roughly the same. Now in the transportation category, it's almost 12% more expensive in Coppell than the national average. And when we start talking about clothing, restaurants, repairs, entertainment, and things of that nature in the miscellaneous category, it's 4.8% more expensive in Coppell. So at this point, you may be thinking, Jaime, I absolutely love Coppell. I need to live there. And if that's you, check out the link in the description with all the homes that are available for sale in Coppell. Now, for those of you that are still on the fence, I'd rather not sell you. I'd rather show you some comparable cities around the DFW Metroplex that are similar to Coppell that you might enjoy. And that includes Frisco, Allen, and Flower Mound. These three cities have similar characteristics, amenities, and real estate than Coppell. But now it's your turn. Is there a city that we have not covered on this channel? Let us know in the comment section down below so we can feature it. And if you're looking to make money on your next real estate transaction, regardless if you're buying or selling, then check out the special link in the description.